Gamer Dude 2088, and we're back here for our second episode of Back to Square One. And we're gonna recap from where we last stopped off at, mostly about building that Giants team, because by now, yeah, you should be focusing on your Giants team. And let me stress this, that your Giants team is the most important thing for you to start working on when you first start this game. So essentially, you're building a win team. And like I said in the previous video, people got confused about the win team, thinking that they have to build all win monsters. So for this video, I decided to use my second account, one that I really don't play too often. I mean, it's been like 2 months since I've played it, period, and a month since I've like stopped collecting like all my stuff. This is why over in the corner there, let's make this larger. Over in the top right corner, it looks like I've been spending a lot of money, but in this count, I haven't. I actually built this count to prove to one of my co-workers that's been playing the game with me for a while that I don't need money to build an account from scratch and make it good. And I end up passing him more of the story. But anyway, when you building your Giants team, a lot of guides that you will see on the internet all over YouTube, they always ask you to pick 3 in particular monsters to start this team with, because these monsters you're going to use for a really long time. And these monsters are Shannon, your Wind Pixie, Bernard, the Wind Griffin, and Belladonna, the water Inugami, the light Inugami, excuse me. These 3 monsters are really important to have, and they're all farmable monsters. I mean, Shannon you can get from unknown scrolls or just shop refreshes. Bernard you can get out of Tamor Desert, which is located here. You can get Bernard. You can see Wind Griffin right there. Out of there. It might take forever and a lot of energy, but yet and still, Bernard is a very important monster to have. I mean, even the top players in the game use Bernard all the time. I mean, you see Bernard in arena defenses. I mean, arena offense. Everybody's shooting to have the fastest Bernard possible. And then the light Inugami, which is like crazy to get, because everyone's spamming in chat trying to get this dungeon to open. And I've tried helping people get it before. I mean, I have helped people get it before, but if this series take off and if we get something going, and if you don't have this monster, I will spend some time helping you, the people out there that don't have it, to farm this monster, because it's a critical monster to have. But we're not going to get into the full details of each of these monsters in this video, because you should kind of know, and if you don't, you can always leave a comment about it and we can talk about it later. But in particular, we have my main attacker, which is Soha, a water monster, now at least for my win team. A water monster does well for the win team because it's neutral. It's a neutral attack. Anything but fire for your first team. A lot of people get confused and think just because they pull something, they got to build it. And this is where you stretch your resources out too far. Because if you're a free-to-play player, you are real minimal to your resources. And if you are a pay-to-win player, you spending way too much money that you can be putting to other things that's involved in your life. And you don't want to be spending all that money. Like, for instance, it wasn't too long ago I ended up pulling a Lucian on this account, but you see he's unawakened. I mean, I leveled him up not being used because he wasn't a part of the original plan and the original intent for this account. My other monster I use is Ramahan, the Wind Inugami, which is a bitch to build if you really don't know nothing about defensive monsters. I don't have like the greatest build for him. but it kind of works for me. And this is like the most critical thing for you guys to do when you starting off, is to get that first team built. And you notice that my team, they're all 5-star maxed out, because I solely work on them. I do have other monsters, and I just pulled Shiwa not too long ago, but I do have other monsters that have like little rooms on them, but really nothing significant. Is when I started this profile, I wanted to test out and try other monsters to use. And right now this team can full auto B6, and with a Fran rep it can auto B7. But since I haven't worked on it in a long time, I really haven't did too many improvements with them. So I mean, I got basic room builds. Okay, I epically failed when I was trying to explain just a little bit of my monsters and the rooms they had. Didn't realize my camera was covering when I was just saying the builds for them, with my so high having attack crit damage, attack Shannon on speed, defense HP, Ramahan on defense crit damage, defense, Bernard on speed, HP, and finally Bella on speed, defense, HP. Yeah, I didn't realize that I had it all covered up, so it's gonna be a part. I'm probably gonna edit that out, but it's gonna be a part where you do see the camera on top of the screen. I suppose the next video we can get more in depth into what these guys have on their rooms and so forth and so on, because I want to take this step by step and not make this series extremely long. But I guess I can do a match with this team, a little dungeon run with this team, so you can kind of see where we're going. I cannot stress anymore, when you're working on your Giants team, those are the only 5 monsters you should be building. So as you pull new monsters, you should be putting those away because they're secondary. Later on in your progression, you might make changes to your Giants team. That's if you want to, and only then will you use other monsters. Until then, this is the only team you should be working on, because this is what's going to get you to that mid-game level. Well, there you have it for that dungeon run. Not too bad, but I know this video is starting to get a little long, so I want to close by saying that you probably, since you've been playing for a while, you have probably came across a few decent monsters, and you might have started building 1 or 2 of them, or a few of them. But you need to start gearing those monsters that you have to the next level that you need to go to. So if your Giants team, which more likely is what you're working on, you need to take 1 or 2 of those monsters and implement them into your Giants team. But in the next video, we're going to just talk about more of the monsters that I'm currently using and why I use them and what they do, and then a few replacements, or so to speak, for these positions and things of that nature. So if you have these monsters, maybe you can build those monsters and don't have to do exactly what I'm doing or exactly what everybody else, because you don't necessarily need a cookie cutter build to get further in the game. You just need to utilize what the game has given you. And this is the Gamer Dude signing out. See you in the next episode. Hope this was pretty helpful, and I want to get more deep into everything, and I know I can't do it all in like 5-minute increments because it just doesn't work like that. So until the next video, see you later. Deuces.